The opinions expressed in this video are independent and do not necessarily represent the views of TBNewsWatch.com or Google Media. Viewer discretion is advised. The Wheelhouse with Gilles Galland.
The NHL season has kicked off, and from a free agency standpoint, it was one of the busiest off seasons in recent memory. Philadelphia pretty much traded away their whole team, while other teams upgraded and retooled, like LA and San Jose. Let's just say there was enough money thrown around on July 1st to buy a small country. So now that the dust is settled and we've seen the first puck drop on the 2011 season, here's who I think will be awesome in their new surroundings, and others who I think will be terrible and get a rude wake-up call. But not in the barely know the chick pregnancy scare kind of way. Ugh, guys, aren't those always the worst? Mike Richards, I still can't believe Philly gave up on him. This guy's going to bring a whole new dynamic to LA. For a long time, the Kings were seen as kind of a doormat in the Western Conference, but now they're a popular pick for the top seed in the West. Richards is easily one of the best two-way forwards in the game, and he could contend for the Selke with guys like Anze Kopitar and Drew Doughty on his team. And the fact that he's locked up for the next 7 years, LA has finally got their poop in a group and made some great investments. Even the stupid E-Trade baby took notice. Jaromir Jagr, the 39-year-old, is back from the KHL, and the Flyers got him on a deal at $3.3 million. Unfortunately, that kind of money couldn't convince him to grow back his mullet. Look, this is a hit-or-miss option, but one that I'm definitely feeling confident in. For the first time since he left Pittsburgh, Jagr won't be relied on like he's a welfare check. Jagr is hardly the player he once was, but he'll still get about 60 to 70 points and help lead the Flyers to at least a top 3 seed in the East. Jeff Carter, another Philly cast-off. 3 years ago, he had a 40-plus goal season and seemed untouchable on the Flyers. 2 injury-plagued seasons later, and Carter gets traded and now leads a 1-2 punch in Columbus, who hopes to make the playoffs for the second time in franchise history. Rick Nash has never had a perennial all-star to play alongside with, and when healthy, Carter is a driving force to the net who will put up at least 35 goals. The way I see it, he'll either have the biggest impact of all signings or be the biggest waste of money since I've seen this. Now to the other side of the spectrum, Christian Ehrhoff. Really, Buffalo? That's your plan? You wanted the third best defenseman from Vancouver, and then you gave him $40 million over 10 years? Man, I can already tell it's going to be another crap year in upstate New York. It's already begun, Bills fans. Come on, no contender loses to the Bungles. The German finally topped 50 points last season with the league-leading Canucks, but here's the thing. The Sabres? They ain't the Canucks. Buffalo is a defensive-minded team and won't be changing that anytime soon as long as Lindy Ruff is in charge. Ehrhoff putting up anything past 40 points will be a stretch, and Buffalo is one of the teams that I predict will drop out of the playoff picture. Dany Heatley, here's a player who's definitely not aging gracefully. He's only 30 years old. You would think he'd have a few prime years left, but doesn't he seem like he's washed up? If he can't play well in San Jose, why would you think he would dominate in Minnesota? He's the only player on the Wild who has any real scoring capability, so unless Mikko Koivu becomes Mark Messier, look for Heatley to only score 30 goals and get paid like a guy who scores 50. James Wisniewski, this guy is exactly what's wrong with GMs trying to make a splash for their team. They have to pay Norris Trophy money for a marginally good defenseman, and now it sets the standard for other up-and-coming players. Columbus finally ponied up some cash for some half-decent players, but it makes me wonder, why do we even have a lockout in the first place? Finally, here are my 2 nominees for the POS status. Come on, get your head out of the gutter. It stands for Player Obviously Sucks. Tim Connolly and Eric Cole. One's a walking concussion, the other's had enough neck and back issues that he needs to travel with a stretcher. Yet to both fan bases, they're counted on as the missing piece to the Stanley Cup puzzle. Us rational fans, however, don't interpret every transaction like it's our saving grace, and don't plan the Cup parade because we won a preseason game against the Islanders. So a small plea to Habs and Leafs fans, please take a step back, put the crack pipe down, and realize that your Cup chances are as likely as Nancy Grace winning Dancing with the Stars. Ugh, what a terrible human being. Thanks for checking out the Wheelhouse. Hit me up on Twitter at TBWheelhouse. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the picks. I'll be back on October 21st after the Thanksgiving holiday. Have a great weekend and enjoy the turkey.
The Wheelhouse with Gilles Galland.